I'd like to focus on a few psukim, a few verses, which appear in this week's Parshas Korach. And this is really towards the close, towards the end of this dramatic rebellion of Korach and his Ada, Korach and his crew, as they had this uprising against Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron. Against Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron, who had been appointed and taken the leadership position of Klal Yisrael. Comes along Korach, also of Shevet Levi. Says, who appointed you? Why are you the great ones? We're all great. Hashem spoke to all of us at Har Sinai. And what's this favoritism amongst the family? You two brothers sort of stealing or taking all of the leadership for yourselves. But we all had that tremendous connection with Hashem at Har Sinai. So after the dramatic event of the extermination, really, of Korach and his motley crew, Hashem says, I'm going to make a point. I'm going to make a point that Aaron, the Kohanim, they are the chosen ones. They were chosen to be the leaders. And he tells Moshe to do something interesting. He says, go take a stick, a staff, a cane basically, from each shevet and bring it to the Aaron. And tomorrow you'll see, there'll be a sign on the stick, which is the chosen shevet, which is the chosen tribe. So Moshe Rabbeinu follows Hashem's instructions, takes a shevet from each tribe. They all have their names written on them, place them around the Aaron. And the pasuk, the verse then says, "Vayihima macharis vayavo Moshe el ohel ha'edus." And it was on the next day, Moshe Rabbeinu comes to the ohel, to the tent of meeting. V'hine farach mate Aaron leves Levi. The staff for Shevet Levi had sprouted flowers. It had blossomed. V'hine farach mate Aaron leves Levi. Vayotze ferach, vayatze tzitz, vayigmol shekedim. Not only did it blossom, but it also budded. It had the buds, and it also had the fruit, the shkedim. Rav Moshe Feinstein points out this is actually an amazing thing here, because if you look at any normal tree, right, where it has its fruits, if it has its fruits, it doesn't have the buds anymore. If it has the buds, it doesn't have the flowers anymore. But this staff still had intact the flower, the bud, and the final fruit, the final product, the fruit. That is quite miraculous. Rav Moshe Feinstein says, the Torah is teaching us a tremendous lesson in how the Torah values efforts. Because in the normal world, the world that we live in, people want results. You don't get paid unless you if you have a finished product. Unless you meet your deadline and you did your job. But we see from this pasuk that from Hashem's point of view, that's not the case. In spiritual development, even the beginning flowers are chaviv to Hashem. Those first steps are greatly endeared. And even after that, when there's the further progress, you're not yet done, but that also is recognized and accounted for. And then finally, you have the final product as well. But from the Torah's point of view, all those things along the way are chaviv. They're precious. They're of tremendous value. as well as the final product. This, I think, is something we should take to heart. Because in our development as well, and as we progress, we should not forget those first steps and those first moments when we were very inspired, or we had a tremendously meaningful experience. And then later on, when we may have matured and been able to accomplish more things. And then finally, there's the finished product. Finally, you've done something. But all those efforts along the way, in Torah and Judaism, those count just as much as the final product. And this is what the message is really of the fact that Aaron's cane, it not only had the shkadim, but all of those developmental steps along the way remained intact. And when Moshe Rabbeinu came the next day and found the staff sitting there, there wasn't just the shkadim, the almond. There was also the bud and there was the flower there as well. We should take this to heart, and it should be an encouragement for us, at least as we develop on our own paths, that we should value the journey. Because the journey really means just as much as when we get to that final destination. Thank you very much.
Yeah.